Hello guys and welcome to JPT. I'm Carson G and this is Just Plain Tech. In today's video we are going to look at the latest release of Linux Mint that just came out like today or yesterday. Linux Mint 20, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so here we are in Linux Mint not 19.3, Linux Mint 20 Mate 64-bit. So just like any this is the live CD, so just like any live CD, it would come with boot repair, and install Linux Mint, install multimedia codecs, whatnot. So this is Linux Mint Mate. So yeah. This video is just going to be a review on it. If you guys want to know how to install it, I would guess, let me just check real quick. I'm not actually sure, but I would guess that the install process is the same as any other version of Linux Mint, pretty much. So, guys, just check out this video at the top that you can see sliding out if you want to know how to install Linux Mint. It's in that video we're installing Linux Mint 19.3, but it will work with Linux Mint 22. Alright, so I gotta say, this menu is honestly kind of interesting. It is a little bit confusing at first, but wait, what's this package manager? I've never seen that package manager thing. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. So it's got software manager, then it's got Synaptic as a package manager. So that's actually pretty cool. I want to see if we have 32-bit support. I'm not sure if we have 32-bit support. Even if we don't, you can probably easily install it. So, still comes with Firefox and Thunderbird and Rhythmbox and all the normal defaults on previous versions of Linux Mint. Terminal looks the same. Let's see. Window. That's not what I meant to do. Window tiling. A little bit different. Still pretty much the same. Oh man, that's cool. So let's see. Oh man, wow! They actually put that feature in where if you drag it to the top, it will maximize it. I can't believe they finally put that in there. It used to be so annoying how it would only go to the top half of the screen. I used to hate that. But I do like, see down here where my mouse is. I like how when you I don't know even how to explain that, but that animation it has is just so cool. So I've been using Linux Mint for about a year now, and every release is just stunning. I mean, the Cinnamon editions aren't awesome. They were pretty buggy compared to Mate and XFCE. I use 19.3 XFCE as my daily driver, but this is actually kind of impressive. This is not as bad as Cinnamon, that's for sure. Cinnamon is very buggy. And this is still beta. So, our file browser looks a bit the same, except most of the stuff on here, at least compared to XFCE looks a little bit new. So, yeah, this is still down here. This shelf looks very similar to XFCE, but I think it's actually smaller than the XFCE shelf. So you can edit the main menu, which I think you've been able to do for I don't even know how long. Okay, so let's see. Customize the look of your desktop. Let's see what customizability this thing comes with. Oh, man, that's okay. I think Linux Mint used to look like this, but I'm not actually sure because I started using Linux Mint when Linux Mint 19.2 came out. I started using with 19.2, but then I upgraded to 19.3. So, yeah, I'm using 19.3 right now. Oh, that, okay. So, let's see what other customizability we have. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not so sure if I like that. How do we... I think it was Mint Y. There we go. Okay. Interface. So it does use the Ubuntu font and sans, like, you know, regular. That's... Oh, let's see what new backgrounds it has. I gotta give it credit for this new built-in background. That is pretty cool. It is a really flashy background. Oh. That's pretty cool, too. I think we'll just set it back to what we had it as. So, that is pretty cool. So, I don't see many improvements with the customization. Alright. Let's see Firefox. Does Firefox look the same? I would guess, but I'm not actually sure. Oh yeah, that's pretty accurate. So, whoa. There's something going on with the mouse there. I mean, this is beta. So look at white, black, white, black, white, black, white, black. Yeah, they might want to fix that. But this is beta, so you can't expect everything to be stable. Comes with Gparted, which is good. Comes with LibreOffice, which is good. Comes with Cups, which is the printer manager. Thunderbird. Time shift, that actually takes up a ton of space. So I'd only do that if you have like a, because it like fully backs up like every image of your OS, which is kind of annoying because it's not very likely to break. So yeah, it like takes up half of your storage. So I wouldn't recommend actually using time shift unless you have like a terabyte or like, you know, a storage to burn. Let's check out performance. So this is, let's go here. So we got an Intel Core i5 CPU with, so we have an Intel CPU and AMD graphics. I may be dumb, but I've never seen an Intel CPU and AMD GPU on the same system. Okay, so obviously this is 64-bit Dell Studio XPS. So I think this is an 8-core processor with 6 gigs of RAM. So, yeah, 6 gigs. Alright, let's processes. Wait, okay, so the system monitor has definitely changed. Okay. So that, I am actually screen recording now. So that is actually not too bad using 1.2 gigabytes, just having these two windows open right here. That, I mean, that's pretty much respectable for 64-bit standards. Obviously, I normally expect lower than that, because if I had these two apps open on a Linux Mint 32-bit, it would only take up about like 256 megs of RAM. So I guess there is a slight bump up to 64-bit, but that's usually, I usually only have about from there to like halfway of my memory being used on 1 gigabyte of RAM, 32-bit. So out of 6 gigabytes, this is pretty respectable for modern 64-bit standards. With all those processes there going on. So let's just do a quick test and see how many Firefox windows we can open. Alright. So now, just by opening Firefox, the CPU has gone way up, which pretty much happens on any operating system when you open an app. It happens on 32-bit too. It will go up to like 90% or something like that, and then it will come back down to the normal. So I thought this was an 8-core CPU, so maybe it's a quad-core. But I remember it saying it was an 8-core CPU. Wonder why. So let's see. So just opening a new tab brought that up. Just watch. Or not. So let's Google. And let's see what the performance is on that. So as you can see, it went up just by opening a new website, which is pretty respectable because that happens on pretty much any operating system you'd use. Screensavers. Alright, so I'm not sure about the Mate desktop environment, but I know for sure that KDE uses KDE has some OpenGL. Oh, looks like it does, but those OpenGL screensavers, I love those. Even the OpenGL screensavers that require OpenGL, obviously, run very well, even on old 32-bit computers with 1 gig of RAM like mine. That one is amazing. So, a lot of the same stuff, it looks like, that KDE has. That screensaver, I see that on Debian a ton. Okay. So, with our screensaver, there's that. Let's see if we can check our what FPS we are at here. I actually don't know how to do that. So let's see if I can open Firefox with that screensaver open. Just to let's see. Check FPS Linux terminal. Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually not. I don't know how to actually check what FPS we're at here, so yeah. I don't want to install anything right now, so network history, so it looks like it's definitely receiving a lot more than it's sending. Looks like our memory is about respectable. Here we got the Synaptic Package Manager. Let's see how many things we can open with 6 gigs. Open the printer. As you can see, our CPU usage is going up quickly. Open like 5 file managers. So that most of our CPUs are going up. As you can see, they're going up pretty high now. Alright. Let's see what our memory usage is. Well, yeah, that is just the file manager, so that doesn't take up much. what's Warpinator? Did not know what that was. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the Linux Mint 20 Stable Edition. It does look to have pretty respectable for 64-bit standards. It, especially on only 6 gigs of RAM, it seems to have pretty respectable performance and specs of what you would expect out of Linux. So, I like the desktop interface layout. Everything is smooth and nice with these animations. I love that. And performance is respectable for Linux, and so is memory. So I would recommend Linux Mint for the average user, of course, when the stable version comes out. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so that you don't miss out on any of our future videos, including a Raspberry Pi expected between Monday and Wednesday next week, and a Pale Moon vs. Firefox video later today. And we will see you guys next time. Stay tuned.